Hi, I'm Hayden Panettiere. As the International Spokesperson for the Whaleman Foundation and our Save the Whales Again campaign, I was invited to Hawaii to help raise awareness for one of the most deadly threats that whales and dolphins face: entanglement in fishing gear. Every year, more than 300,000 whales, dolphins, and porpoises die from entanglements. To learn more about this, I joined Ed Lyman and the Whale Entanglement Response Team on Maui. Ed works for NOAA and is the Entanglement Response Team leader for the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary. It wasn't long until we were surrounded by whales. One of Ed's research goals is to observe and photograph the whales to see how many of them have entanglement scars. These observations are made from both above and below the ocean surface. Here's a topside photograph of one of the whales we observed, clearly showing a healed entanglement scar just above its flukes from a line that was wrapped around its tail at some point in its life. Here's a photo showing a whale with a line wrapped around its tail and how the line cuts into its blubber. Whales that are lucky enough to be freed or escape from this type of entanglement have scars like the one we documented. After observing the whales from the surface, it was time to document the whales underwater. Ed and his team operate under a special scientific research permit which allows underwater observations. In the water, Ed's primary purpose is to get full-body photographs of the whales. My job was to be Ed's safety diver.
Well, Hayden, that was spectacular. That was a competitive group. You got a first-hand look at that. At least 7 animals, 6 of them came right by us there. So the one hanging below and 3 or 4 coming up, and we had one come close. I got a great flank shot. Remember, we want to get this in-water, full-body health assessment. So, by the way, thank you for being my safety diver.
For sure. For sure. That was amazing. We got in, they were just right below us. That young one was super curious, and then that one just came straight up from the bottom right in front of us. It's really classic.
Yep. And it's important work too. I mean, again, trying to get the health assessment of this population of humpback whales here in Hawaii is very important. It's our niche here at the Humpback Whale Sanctuary.
Right, and what we were seeing today when they were close to the boat and they were coming up, a lot of them had those markings. A lot of them had entanglement markings.
Exactly.
And you saw them close up down there.
Both surface and underwater. We've seen that, especially that one male with the notch on the peduncle or the tailstock, the area right in front of its tail. As that notch you saw, that wound, that is from an entanglement. That is where a line was wrapped around the tailstock. It wore in enough and left a V-shaped notch in the body.
Here's another whale that's a victim of past entanglement. This time, the whale was a mom with her calf, and here you can clearly see the scar around her tail. The result of this entanglement injury was that she could no longer use her tail to propel herself, but instead she flapped her giant pectoral fins like wings and literally flew through the water, as shown by these sequences. Can you imagine the energy it takes to migrate over 3,000 miles while pregnant, then give birth and nurse, and take care of her calf, and then make the migration back all without the use of her tail? And it's all because she was entangled in fishing gear. Fortunately, while I was on Maui, we did not come across any entangled whales, but several entangled whales are reported here every year. Ed showed me the specialized tools they use to help free the whales, along with some excerpts from Lou Duros' award-winning film, In the Wake of Giants, showing Ed and his whale entanglement rescue team in action.
So here we have a couple tools. They're actually, made from fishing gear in a sense, but here we have a grapple. Fishermen would use this maybe to collect lost gear that was on the bottom. Maybe they lost the buoy at the surface. But we use it to grab a hold of a whale.
See anything? Okay. What do you go for, David? Oops, okay. Okay, yep, you got it. Okay, line over.
So if we had an entanglement that was further up on the body, or an animal that was kind of uncooperative, a little more dangerous to get up near, we would use more of a flying knife. That's what we basically call it. It's a knife that will come off the pole system here like this. You have an adapter. Again, that pole system is much longer. Hook it onto the entanglement around that animal, and then fall back on your knife, maybe get 10, 15 feet behind the whale where it's safe. Whales don't go in reverse very well. And just the whale's kicking its tail, the boat's bobbing along behind it. That action would cut the line.
But about 10 minutes of gauging the length of the pole, the whale came up for a breath of air.
Hey, okay?
We dropped the pole with the hook knife on the end, right in front of that loop of lining.
Pull from the aft, pull aft, pull aft, pull aft.
We disengaged the hook knife from the pole, backed away.
Pull it back, David. It looked good. We're on something. Yeah. Now it's just got to cut.
And about 10 minutes later, the knife cut through, and the nice, clean, bitter end of line got pulled right through the whale's mouth, through the baleen, and the whale was entirely free of gear.